Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 2024 Christmas in July online extravaganza with Venetia Ramsey from Scrapworx. For project 1 today, we're going to create a single page layout using our About a Boy collection. For this page, I'm going to be working mainly with our booklet, and then also with the grey board cutter parts. I'm going to show you how to technique the About a Boy on here. Alright, so let's get started with that. I'm going to get everything ready and I'll see you in a bit. So I'm quickly going to paint the grey board with you. So I'm choosing to work with Uncharted Mariner Distress paint. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit on my mat. And because I'm working with a dark color, I haven't put any gesso or white paint on the base. It's a reasonably dark color, so all should be good. I was going to paint the boy in different colors, but I think I'm just going to keep it all the same. I was going to do a blue, a lighter blue, and an orange, but I think that it's going to look better like this. You could still prep your grey board if you want to, so that you wouldn't have to put on a second coat of paint, because it does the paint does go in it does suck in quite a bit of the paint, because the board is pretty porous. So you just want to get a really good layer of paint on. Like that. So remember, we're going to dry it now, and it's important when you dry it to move it out of the painted area that we have, otherwise it just gets stuck. Just double checking that I've got paint everywhere. That looks good. I'm quickly going to dry that. Right, that is pretty dry. It's not 100% dry, but it's dry enough for me to be able to add the next step. I just want to take some of this paint off here. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to add a little bit of scorched timber. I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to just pick up some of the scorched timber with what's in my brush, so that it changes color a little bit. Okay, and take some off. And I'm just going to apply it to the bottom, pull it onto my grey board like that. And a little bit at the top. So I'm just pulling the color on like that, and then to the side. So I'm kind of trying to get a sort of distressed look with by adding the darker color. So I've put it on a little bit solid at the bottom, a little bit solid at the top, and then what's left on my brush and what's on the bottom, I'm just pulling that across so that it looks like the paint has been applied in a distressed way. There we go. The U and the T can get a little bit more at the top, like that. All right. So there you go. You can see the nice, that it gives a nice distressed kind of look. Right, I'm going to dry that. Right, so there you go. It's for me, it's dry enough to be able to add the next layer, and it has that like mottled look to it. I'm quite happy with the way that turned out. I haven't cleaned off my brush yet, and I'm not going to put it in water until I'm altogether done. I want to add a bit of white distressing just to make everything stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to put a little bit of white on my mat. Right. Put this over there. So I'm going to use a brush, a flat kind of a flat square brush. I normally use quite a scruffy brush, but all my scruffy brushes are done. They are scruffy. I can't use them anymore. So I would normally use a brush that looks like this to do this technique, but it's actually hardened. It's past its sell-by date. It'll now go into a piece of artwork. Right, so holding your brush flat, you saw I took off quite a bit of the paint. I'm trying to get a very dry brush kind of look. I hold the brush flat and pull it across. I'm trying to catch the paint on the edges of the grey board. So adding some highlights to the work just to make it stand out a little bit more, so that it has a little bit of texture and doesn't look flat. There we go. I want to add a little bit this way. Remember, if you do put too much on, you can always go in and just work it in a little bit, or we can go in afterwards and add a little bit more of the paint that is on the brush over there. So I'm really just trying to make the edges stand out a little bit more, so that I don't lose it on the background. And if it feels to me like I haven't got enough paint on an edge, I'm going in and just adding that like that. So with some of the paint that is left, I'm just rubbing it on like that. Over here. There we go. Maybe this way. Right, and like I said, if you feel like that maybe you've got too much white on, you can always go with the paint that's left on and just go over the white areas with a little bit of the blue, just to tone it down a little bit if need be. But you should keep going until you get to a point where you are happy with the outcome, and I think that is just perfect. When I put it onto the pattern paper that I chose, I think that then is going to offset beautifully with the rest of the page. Okay, I'm quickly going to clean up, and then we can start to assemble the layout. You'll need a photograph that measures 10 by 15, 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters. I'm going to work with a portrait photograph. If you're going to extend the page, you can add on some extra photographs. You can match your photo onto the light cardstock that measures 10.5 by 15.5, and then onto the dark cardstock 11 by 16. Right, so for the next step, we're going to actually put the layout together. You're going to need a piece of paper that measures 30.5 by 30.5. I'm just using the piece that comes out of the album, you know, inside the page protectors. When you buy a new album, you get these. Otherwise, if you don't have that, just use any piece of plain cardstock that you have on hand. You can use white, black, whatever. You just need something to be able to stick everything on. So from your booklet, you are going to go through the booklet and you're going to tear out one of these patterns. And then from the top of this pattern, I'm going to show you, you're going to cut a strip that measures 9.5 centimeters. So from the top down, you'll measure 9.5 centimeters and cut. And then you'll take that piece and you're going to cut this piece off at 7 centimeters, and that's going to go at the top like that. We're going to split it like that. Okay, so we're basically going to puzzle some paper together. From the bottom of this page up, you're going to measure 7.5 centimeters and you're going to cut that piece off. So if you cut your 7.5 centimeters, that's what it would look like. And then you're going to cut 7 centimeters off the left side, and that's going to go at the bottom here. And we're going to pop that piece over there. Then in the middle here, you'll be left with some pieces. You need to cut 3 strips that measure 1 centimeter by your 20, I think it goes over here. So 1 centimeter by 20, you're going to cut 3 strips like that. And we're going to work with the other side. So I'm going to want these ones later on. And the one 20 centimeter one, you're just going to cut in half. I'll show you how we're going to use that in a minute. So you'll need 3 strips at 1 centimeter. Then you need to dig through and find the pattern paper that looks like this. We need this one, okay? And you're going to take that one and you're going to cut it. So this will be your pattern paper number 1. The next one we're going to use is pattern paper number 2. You're just going to cut a piece at 14 centimeters. So you're going to cut a 14 centimeter strip. I'll put it like that. So all I did was cut from the top 14 centimeters across. And then once you've got that, you're going to cut this piece to measure 5 centimeters. It's going to go over there. And you're going to cut this piece to 15 centimeters. It's going to go over here like that. Right. Then out of your pattern paper, what I'm going to refer to as pattern paper number 3. Okay, the piece that looks like this, we're going to work with the back side of it. I want this piece. You're going to cut this piece down. You're going to cut a strip down like that measures 15 centimeters. Then for the top piece, you're going to cut a piece that measures 9.5 centimeters. It's going to go at the top like that. And for the bottom, you're going to measure and you're going to cut a piece that measures 7.5 centimeters, and it's going to go like that. I have already inked around the edges of everything with Scorched Timber Distress Oxide. I've just to save time, I've just gone around the edges with that. So then these strips that you cut out, they will become your pattern paper number 4, and we're going to run these across. One is going to go like that and one is going to go like that. That's just to hide the joins like that. Okay, and then these little pieces that are extra, they're going to go over there, and we'll just cut off the little excess. We'll just trim off on that side, but that's just so that we can carry it all the way across like that. Then your photograph, the 10 by 15, we're going to pop that in over here like that. And then once we stick everything in place, obviously nothing's going to move around. There'll be no white bits too visible. So it'll look like you created a whole page using standard 12 by 12 paper. Right. I want to put my title About a Boy is going to go over there. Right, so then you need to go through and select a couple of embellishments. these are the goodies that I've chosen. I'll run through it with you one step at a time. Okay, so what I did, let's start. For this guy, I cut it out of here. I took this one and I just fussy cut this out to have him, and I plan to put this one over here like that, right? And then this one here, I fussy cut out of here. I took him out of there, and I'm going to have him go in behind here like this, just to build up something like that, right? Then this part here, I also fussy cut out, and that's this little piece over here. I cut it out like that, and my plan is to have it go down the bottom here somewhere like that. Okay, that's all that I think I stole from here. And then I fussy cut out these over here, and the ones that I've just used the dude that goes from there to there, but okay. Voila, sorry, got the wrong one. I fussy cut this one out like that. I cut out the whole area and then I split it. So here's the whole border. I've just split that border. I'm going to use that somewhere else on the page. So where the tallest dude is, that's where I've cut it out. My plan is to have this one go behind, sort of create like a border over here, something like that. All right, so that's that. Then for this one, I thought to carry on with the border and just have this go over there like that. Then I fussy cut this one out. Can't see. So I took this. All right, let me show you. And I just fussy cut out the little label. But I've kept these little pieces because I'm going to use them. All right. So I'll show you now how it all fits in. So I just keep that, don't throw it away. We need this piece. I have cut out this piece, this one over here. So a couple of things that we need. I have this one over here. Let me move it up. So I've got this one and this one and this one. And then I have this one that I cut out, okay? And then this word, you stole my heart. And then I cut out a couple of the buttons. I cut out 4 of the smaller ones. And 1 of the big ones. So that's 2 on top of each other. So I just took a couple of them and this one and cut those out. Right, so I'm just going to create a little cluster with them now. So I thought it would be nice then to have this one go behind here like that. I like the idea of having this guy behind here like that, so that it looks like we've created a little cluster of the boys over here. I thought it would be nice to create another little cluster there. And then I've got this one over here that's going to go there, and then the Dare to Dream that's going to meet up with the train like that. Okay, then I thought it would be nice to pop, you know, because there's a bit of a space there, to fill that up with a little piece of the paper like that. And then pop this little piece. So we're just going to move that up there, so we can bring that up a little bit and then fill up the gap over here like that. And just have that go under. So just build a little cluster up to look something like that. And then we can pop the, once this is in, we can pop the little you stole my heart up at the top like that. And then just to finish off with some buttons, just to help add that little visual triangle, I thought we could pop 2 little in there. We can pop 1 over here, and then at the top we can pop a button in over there maybe we can just bring them in over this side like that, something like that. Once I've stuck everything in place, then I'll be better able to see where the little buttons need to go. With everything moving around, it's a little bit hard to see. So that's basically how you're going to attach everything in place. This green one is attached 7 centimeters from the side, and there everything just goes from that. So what I'm going to do now is put on some music and put glue on everything, and then start to assemble, and I will see you in a bit. While we wait for the glue to dry, well, to become tacky, I can run through some of the goodies that you need to do. I see I missed one. So I've applied glue mostly on most of my items. I've applied the glue just down the bottom like that. So if I want to add a little foam square, there is the option to be able to do that. For this one, because I know the feet are going to hang over the photograph, or I might put the photograph over. If I want to slide a photograph under, obviously I don't want any glue to be there, so I've only put the glue towards the top of this one. For the little boy banner, I've also only put glue down the bottom. Again, once I've stuck it down, I have the opportunity then to slide some foam squares up if I want to add a little bit of height. Okay, so those are just when you are adding your glue, just think about the placement. And you know, you don't want to cover the whole thing like I have with this one, because there's no option now to be able to raise it unless I stick this on some foam as a whole before I attach it. Alright, so we're going to quickly put the page together. We're going to do the background together quickly, and then I will add the embellishments. Right, so let's start at the top. Right, so we're going to attach what I refer to as pattern paper number 1. Okay, and the nice thing as well is if you don't get it quite, you know, if you've got a piece of white sticking out on the edge, we can easily just go over it with some ground espresso distress oxide. We can just ink the edges to hide any squiffness. So we're going to attach the piece that pattern paper number 1, the piece that measures 7 by 9.5. You want to attach that flush to the top and side of your backing sheet. Again, bearing in mind that the glue is wet, so it'll be a bit slippery until it dries. Still with pattern paper number 1, the piece that measures 9.5 by 13. We're going to attach that over on this side. So we might be turning the paper around quite a bit. So I want to get that flush against the side and the top, like that. Again, holding it in place. Still with pattern paper number 1, this is the part that you cut off the bottom. So I cut mine too short, and I just taped it back together. So again, 7 centimeters. This one is 7 centimeters by 7.5. So 7 centimeters across, 7.5 centimeters tall. That's going to just attach at the bottom like that. So we're working with pattern paper number 1. So this is the piece that measures 7.5 by 13. We're going to pop this piece in over here. So we're just puzzling all the pieces together to create the illusion of one that we used 12 by 12 pattern paper. So you can actually do quite a lot with the booklets. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and we've put in little embellishments. So they've been, you have different scales. So if you wanted to use a bigger and smaller embellishment, there is the option to use the big ones out of the 12 by 12 kits, and then use these ones, use the little ones for your, to get the different scales. Right, the next we're going to attach is your pattern paper number 2. Okay, so this one, you should have cut this down to 14 centimeters. So you need the piece that measures 5 by 14. We're going to attach that in place. So you want to flush against the, like that. I don't mind that it overlaps there a little bit. Maybe we can have it overlap on the bottom one. Let's do that. So I'm going to put it flush against the top and let it overlap on the bottom one like that. Right, because I have that border going across, that text border that's going to hide the join. Then this one, we can do the same thing. So this is the piece that measures 15 centimeters by 14. We're going to have it flush against the top one and let it overlap a little bit over here. So this is your pattern paper number 2 going into place now. Like that. Right, so next we're going to attach pattern paper number 4, which are the stripes. So you need to decide if you want your border to go under or over. For me, I'm going to have this border go underneath this one and over on here. I'm going to have it on like that. All right, so we're going to attach the one border. Pop that one in flush against the right, flush against the top, and remember we can easily turn the page to make sure we've got it straight, that everything's where it needs to be. There we go. Happy with that. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut this, my edge, straight. And this one is going to go underneath the little dudes and have it go like that. Just hold it in place so that it sticks. And that works out quite nicely. And we'll do the same on this one. So I will again have this go over this, my pattern paper number 2. I'm going to have it go over like that, because I don't want to cover up the top of my train. So that one's going to go like that. And then we can attach pattern paper number 4 on the other side. I don't know if the mic is picking up the snoring in the background. That is, believe it or not, my teacup Yorkie that snores that loud. There we go. Okay, and then to hide everything and make it look like it's all one piece of pattern paper, we are going to attach pattern paper number 3. You need the piece that measures 15 across and 9.5 centimeters down. All right, just making sure it's the right way. Yep. This one I'm going to put flush against here, like that. Flush against the top, flush against pattern paper number 1. Like that. Just hold that in place and burnish. And we're going to do the same with the piece that measures 7.5 by 15. You're going to pop it in flush against pattern paper number 1, like that. Voila. There we go. Sorry, this one needs to come over a little bit, so it's not straight down, it's offset. I will give you the, I only realized when I try to put it down and covered up half the train. Let me see, it's 6.5. Actually bring it over even more. We can bring it over to 6 maybe. Like that. Yeah. Let's put it 6 centimeters from the left. I don't want this running all the way down. That works right. That's right. 6 centimeters from the left. You can attach your pattern paper number 3. Like that. And then our photograph is going to go in over there so that you can see I have that kind of effect. All right. My only mistake is over here. My little border should have gone over here, but I'm not going to fiddle with it because then it's going to, I wasn't paying attention. I'll make it work. Okay, so we're going to attach the photograph 5 centimeters from the left, and if you just put it flush against this one, you'll be fine. And we're going to attach it approximately 7 centimeters from the bottom of the page. I think that looks right. No, I want a little steppy there, so that looks better. So 5 centimeters from the left, and I would say 6 centimeters from the bottom of the page. Let's pop that in. 6 is going to look better. There we go. You can apply some glue. We don't really need, we're not tucking in anything at the bottom, so we can have the glue go all the way to the bottom. I would just not have it go all the way to the top in case I need to do the tucking in at the top. All right, so we're going to pop this one 5 centimeters from the left, 6 centimeters from the bottom, like that. And I just want to make sure that it's straight. All right, like that. Just burnish that in place. Let's shift it a bit. There we go. Right, so I am going to figure out what I'm going to do here to fix this. I might just put that sentiment that I had over there, I might just put across here, but I'll come up with a plan. If you are following along and you see the mistake, then know that this needs to go over this. So I should have not put glue at the bottom of this piece to be able to slide it under. But I take this as a creative opportunity. Right, so I'm going to pop on some music, put on my embellishments, draw some gel lines, and I will see you in a bit. there you go, that's everything in place. I think that this fixes my little mistake, and then by adding the stitching in around there kind of makes it look like that was my plan. Right, and then I want to just add some foam squares behind each little dude's head maybe, so that they, so up one, down one, we'll put one, oops, we'll put a foam square behind that one. And then, so I'm basically I just chose 3 of the taller ones. Then I'm going to pop some foam squares behind. It would help if I stick the sticky side down. Behind his head like that. I might, in this case, just remove the backings just to stick it down. Like that. There we go. Right, and then I think that I want to lift, no, not this one, this guy here, sorry. This tall one here, he can go up, and I think that that's it. I don't think that one needs to be lifted, I just think it's just that one. I could lift this if I wanted to, but I think that that looks fine like that. So there you go, that's everything stuck in place. A little bit of lifting does add a bit of dimension to the page. Okay, I did go around my title with my white gel pen. I did some stitching around here, okay, and I also drew some lines around the "You Stole My Heart" so that it looks like more that is actually where I wanted to go. Because I put this down here, I needed something here, so I've chosen to put the 2 buttons there. So I've got 2 buttons there, 1 there, and 2 here, so that creates my visual triangle. Right, what I've done on this side has happened on here, and by layering the little boys like that, I think that that then carries the weight of the train in this corner. Right, so there we go. I hope that you've enjoyed the process, and I look forward to seeing you in the next in workshop number 2, which is a double page layout. Thank you for watching.